Hello and welcome to day 2 of our Spike Prime Lego camp. Today is all about these interchangeable grabber arm attachments. So our mission today is to build the 2 grabber arm attachments along with the hub with the pressure sensor on it. We're going to program it. The programming is pretty simple for these, and they're both going to run off the same program. And then your real challenge today is to then design your own attachment that could fit onto this, maybe with a different grabber arm mechanism, or to even change the way that we're using this and maybe turn this into like a robot that can drive around with a grabber arm attachment on it. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to open the Spike Prime app. We're going to go into Invention Squad and Super Cleanup. And then when we build it, there's 3 different sections that we're going to build. We're going to build the controller with the touch sensor, and then grabber 1 and grabber 2. And we're going to build all of them at the same time. And then we're going to program these grabber arms. And so the programming is pretty simple. And it's basically, instead of when the start button is pressed, what it's going to do is it's going to wait for the pressure sensor to be pressed and released. And when it detects that it's pressed, it's going to start this sequence of code. And then when it is released, which requires you to press it first before it can be released, it's then going to execute these blocks right here. So the program, when you hit start, nothing is going to happen because it's going to be waiting for these inputs. So make sure that your pressure sensor is inputted into E and that you plug your attachments into A, otherwise these codes will not work. Just a quick note on the stall detection. On the Spike Primes, unlike on the EV3s, the Spike Primes have a stall detection. Basically what that means is when the motor can no longer turn, do you want that motor to keep continuing to try to close and thus maintaining a little bit of force on the object, or when it stalls, meaning it can't turn anymore, does it just go to the next block and release all tension? And so we want to turn that off because we want that motor, when it closes and it can't close any further, to maintain tension on our object. And then when it releases, we want it to let go of that extra tension and release. So that's just a little bit about that stall detection and what that does. So after you build all of these, we're going to test these with different objects to see their strengths and weaknesses. And so we have an object size or object weight test, or you could do this grabber arm test that's right here. These are what the Spike Prime app suggests, and I've kind of combined them into one big test. So you could score them according to this, or you could come up with your own scoring system if you want. You also could test them in different ways. It doesn't have to be this exact test. If you come up with your own test, that's fine as well. This is just the one that Spike Prime and Lego Education created for you. And then think about how to make some concluding statements. So which grabber arms scored the most points, which one would be better, which one would be more effective, maybe in what capacity. So in what situation would you want the different attachments. And then in our extension and challenge, you could do several things. One, you could try to create another attachment that could fit on and run using the same program. So you could think about different ways that we can open and close, maybe use the same system here but change the arms, or completely redesign this however you want. Now if you do a third one, you're either going to have to use the larger motor, or you're going to have to use one of these motors, so you're going to have to take apart one of these grabbers. Or the other way to do it, and I've provided some YouTube videos for these, is you could create like a mechanical grabber arm that fits onto a robot. So these ones drive around on wheels, and have grabber arm attachments. And these would be really beneficial maybe for a Lego robotics team if you had a mission where you had to go and grab something and bring it back to the base. So I hope that you're able to do at least one either redesign of the grabber arm attachment or a complete new creation using some kind of grabber arm mechanism. All right, that's it for today. Make sure that you take pictures or videos and share your creations with us, and I hope you have fun.